Hi everyone, I'm just setting things up. Hi everyone, I am Tara and aka Spirit Mother. I'd like to welcome you all back to my channel. On YouTube, it's Spirit the Spirit Teachings of Going Within Self. On TikTok, it is Enlightened Soul, and I'm also live on my Facebook. Today, coming in to talk about the masculine ego bully. Okay, when it becomes when it becomes a feminine thing, it's can be a form of bullying also, depending on not the circumstances, depending on the extent that you keep it going to, because you can be bullied physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and sexually, and in many other ways. It's usually more of a masculine energy that does it. So that's not meaning male nor female, because we all have masculine, we all have feminine. Some have more feminine, whether it be a man or a woman, and some have more masculine, vice versa, whether it be a man or a woman. If you're coming into my channel, welcome. If you're wondering what my channel is about, just check out the description on the YouTube channel, Spirit Teachings of Going Within Self, and you will kind of get a gist of what my channel is about, because it can get intense sometimes. Sometimes I'll piss you off, I'll make you laugh, you'll cry, you'll hate me, you'll love me, you'll like me, you'll loathe me, you'll like want to slap me upside the head sometimes, depending on the circumstances, because it's kind of that showing that nobody's perfect, we all do it, but bringing a reflection, not only for others, but for myself too, because it's all being more through channeling spirit. Different forms of languages. I sign, and I've spoken other languages, and some of it is considered light language. Some of it is, well, it's like the plasma languages. It's our ancient languages, and we all can do it. It's just more being able to tap into your higher being. So being able to tap into the feminine aspect of yourself, making the connection of the oneness together, opposed to having a masculine ego bullying over others, whether it be male or female. Then you'll see things shift, not only in your life, but in others' life, in the lives of others too, because you are the example of the change. And it's like some are like starting to go back to school and learn different things, or they're changing jobs, or they're just leaving their job, and they're trying to figure out what it is that they're meant for, because sometimes it feels like we have a mental illness. And that's the part where it's actually the mental illness is actually caused from a lack of spiritual health, which is the spiritual health is actually knowing yourself and knowing your environment. And that's the connection. And then that's when you start expanding for yourself. But we get masculine ego bullies that kind of come in, and it's like, well, no, like, we're not going to let you get ahead because you work for us. But I use it as an example because, like, these systems are bullying. So that's the biggest bully. But it starts with like, okay, you have a bully, and a bully creates a bully. So what ends up happening when a bully creates a bully? It's a bully had beat the feminine out of that person. So it kept the person afraid of them, opposed to like they tell you, no, don't punch. You don't need it's not about punching. It's actually standing up to the bully and using your voice. Like some things get physical, but I found ways at times where I just actually took them down and just kind of put them to the ground and sat on them until they calmed down. But I, it was not enforced, but just kind of like saying, okay, you gotta stop. And I used to go up against bullies for other people that couldn't. And then it became that I wasn't bullying the bully. I was just chasing the bully away. And then I started feeling like I was weak. So when you start feeling like you're weak, because sometimes others come in and they start like kind of filling your head with, as they call it, criticism, but like they say, constructive criticism. I say encouragement actually goes a lot further, because when you're encouraging someone, it means that you are focusing on the things that they want to be doing for themselves, things that make them happy. When they do something good, encourage them and explain to them. And if you just, and I know dealing with the bully can be very difficult because I'm dealing with one. And I know there are many others that are dealing with one. And it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or a boy or a girl or a transgender, however you refer. Okay. It's more about being in the connection with yourself and the balance, connection with everything. It's like they say, heaven and earth. Okay. Like, yes, we all have dark sides to us, as some has seen. Sometimes I feel like, well, I know some people think like you're really angry and you're very dark and what have you. But are you actually getting and understanding what I'm bringing forth and saying? Or are you just allowing your shadows to take over and leave you thinking that you're angry with me, but it's actually in many ways sometimes making sense. And I know sometimes I have to go back. Well, I know I do go back and I watch my own videos because I know that spirit is teaching me things too. So I'm on this learning journey also. And I've come to find out that like we're here to challenge the system in productive, healthy, and someone says yes, in spiritual manner, because spiritual it just means being connected. I'm going to show you a video that I found on TikTok. Okay, I did a video the other day with regards to uh, feminist Phoenix Rising. Okay, because like I had said, this person said that it was feminist. or these feminist people. Well, it's people, whether they're male or female or whatever, transgender or gay, however, like I said, however you refer, that's neither here nor there. But we try to make it that way. We always feel like we have to justify. But I'm not saying that it's like, oh, you're going to call people it or that or like what have you. No, because you're not an it, you're not a that, you're not this, like, however they want to categorize it. And the bully will poke at your flaws. It's like they say about a bully will say, you're poking the bear, you're poking the bear. Well, just think what you're doing to that person that you're bullying. So if that person that you're bullying decides that they want to come back and bite, how would they be in the wrong? But you would play victim. See, a bully makes a bully. So bullying somebody else back doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do. But it's not about bullying. It's about standing up for yourself and standing up with and for others who are unable to stand up for themselves. I had someone in my life when I said about taking gender sexuality, some I forget the full name of it, in university. Um, they told me that, oh, like that I was going into a class of feminists. Okay, well, it's like, seriously, that's bullying. Okay, and it's actually using mental abuse on people, and it's a part of looking and saying, okay, I see it as a learned behavior because it's either learned at home or it's learned in the school system or in these other systems. Doesn't necessarily like mean the school system, but our kids do go to school, like go to these daycares and schools at an early age, and there are good ones. But there's a lot of bullying that goes on within those systems. And then when it goes on within the systems, then it's brought back to the families. And like it's women, but it's also it's feminine energy. It's the energy of whether it be male or female, and the energy of the feminine side. And then when the masculine and feminine come together. So I'm going to show you this video because it pertains to what I'm talking about, because even when we get in relationships, I'm going to use an example, okay, with regards to money, okay? And I'm not going to use, I knew someone and they had gone on a trip and they had bought a newspaper and they paid $6 for it. And their husband got upset because they paid $6 for a newspaper. You were on a trip, but you're upset because your wife paid $6 for a newspaper. She was on vacation. And I'm not saying, like, because that's what it would cost, because that would be about the same as what it would cost for a newspaper here where they were. So it was no more than what it would have been at home. So that's the part where, okay, a masculine, sometimes it's like they want to be in control of everything because their ego is running that a woman can't do nothing. They're helpless. Oh, you're a damsel in distress. Let me rescue you. Seriously? I allowed you to rescue me, but you abused me. So you didn't actually rescue me. It's like a mental imprisonment because it all comes back to the mental health of what it does to your psyche, to your body, okay? Because it's all on the spirit level. And the spirit level is more of the feminine aspect of it, bringing the masculine and feminine together, the two spirited, where everyone worked. They were very connected until systems come into play. And they became the bully. But if, like I said, if we fight back, then, you know, we're psychotic, we have schizophrenia, we are lunatics, have psychosis, we have conversion disorder, we're hypochondriacs, we're this, we're that. Is what they like to label us with when we start speaking up and questioning anything. It's the bully that wants to keep the boot down. That's the masculine aspect of it. And the systems are run mainly by a masculine ego energy that has everyone feeling helpless. But you're not helpless. It's just a program. It's something that's put on us and beat into us by words, by actions, and lack thereof actions. I was watching something with regards to what was going on in Parliament. And it has to do with legal, making it illegal for hard drugs in BC again. I don't usually watch politics, but one was saying about like wanting it illegal again, okay? And the other one was saying that, oh no, we don't need to legalize it. We just need to put more funding into trying to help people. So we'll pretend that we're helping people, but we won't really help them. We'll just help them by continuing to give them these drugs. So there's an energy in here that wants to try and distract me. And it's like, seriously? Is it a part like you don't like what I'm saying because it's truth? Or maybe in some way it's hitting home and you don't want to deal with it because we never do. See, I always thought that I was just a sexual toy. So I go from different relationships, but more or less bullied most of the time. And then other things just didn't work out because, I wasn't in the state of being where I needed to be to actually value myself and my surroundings and my own worth. So, because I stopped allowing people to bully me, less people began to like me or not like me. or would like kind of someone new would come in and you try to get manipulated. But it's all something that we're being taught to be able to stand up. And it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, or male or female, or what have you. It doesn't matter your gender. I had somebody the other night say that I was a bleeding heart because people value their life and others' lives, and they have empathy for their life, for life. Yeah, it's trying to take it away. This is spirit to spirit. Mishkale, tu kusukuti tu bria. Bisikuti tia to ya talabria suku. Sishkle salai kum yata tum. Told you, if you don't understand my channel, go read my description in my YouTube channel, Spirit to Spirit Teachings of Going Within, and you might understand a little bit more because, it's like sometimes we need like that shock, and it's like, I needed a good swift kick up my ass more than once because I'll be honest, I'm freaking stubborn and I can be thick sometimes, yes, but can't we all? And don't say you can't be because everyone can be, because for the sake of somebody just saying that they're not, or what have you, well, that's that part right there. Sometimes, like, I look like a raging lunatic on here, but hey, if it gets the point across, I guess, shit. Because as time went by, it was like I was being bullied, like many others. I know others who have been being bullied. Some of the leaders actually growing up were actually bullied and decided to bully others, forgetting all about what it felt like to be bullied themselves. And then they wonder why people are coming back at them because they were no better than their bully. So what right did you have to complain about your bully when you're one yourself? Like we have our own mind. If you want to bully someone, that's on you. But if that person comes back and decides that they just want to, well, I guess that's on you, and don't play victim. The same as if I went at somebody, I couldn't play victim. There's one person that I will be honest, I go at him. And sometimes I pull no punches because you think I'm stubborn, you think I'm thick. When you're dealing with, like, when it's a masculine ego, I'm not saying he physically hit me because he actually put me out one time when my hair was caught on fire. We're all it's learning lessons, and it's remembering things that we've done and being able to work through it instead of taking it out on each other, because it's our crosses to bear. It's our spirits that we're working with. And when we start knowing that and understanding it, that's when you become more and more responsible for your actions. And somebody would know if you knew full well that you knew exactly what you were doing, because it's that part about actually being able to connect in many ways. So sometimes it feels like you're experiencing that person. So if you're experiencing that person's feelings, sometimes it just comes out because maybe it's them needing to hear it, but they can't actually hear it because, well, they don't want to bring it out. They just keep going over it inside. So then it becomes very disabling. It becomes very crippling. It becomes a cancer on your body. So, like, spirit had me, like, I was going to call on earlier today because I was in a very phone. And, and yeah, I was in a very, like, whoosh, man. It's that part, like, there's so much coming up. And when you're experiencing and feeling like it's like the pain of others, because like it's a connection. And then with the different like the different things going on and the moon and the universe and just within our bodies, because it's our body. So what is being created out in the universe is what we're creating through our bodies. So it's like our own little world, our worlds are clashing together and shifting, and we're moving all over the place. It's like sorting yourself out to find your way home. Home. Home is where the heart is. Well, the heart is within you. So if the heart is within you, then you are your home. You need to find your way back to you. And it's like I can feel that there's confusion there in some people's part, and it's like, no, it's like, seriously, you are your home because you're your masculine, you're your feminine energy. Can you like I'm gonna get a little out there right now, but like whether you're a man or a woman or transgender or however you refer, you have the ability to masturbate. So you're able to sexually stimulate yourself, because when you're doing that, what you're doing is you're actually tapping into both your masculine and feminine. But see, people don't, we don't see it that way. It's like I'm going to question, like with regards to the stars, because I'm taking a course. And in the stars, okay, they say about the distance of the stars and the luminescence. Okay, well, let's see. Think of the stars. They used a bulb as an example about the brightness. Okay, so think of it this way: you have the bulbs the same size. Okay, because it's like coming in at the same time, the same size. You're or what have you. Well, it wouldn't it be that after it gets so old, it's aging, so it gets dimmer and dimmer. So if it gets dimmer and dimmer, it kind of gives the illusion that it's possible. Sometimes it can give that illusion that it's far away, but it's at the exact same distance it was. So I look at things like that, questioning, because they say there's no such thing as time. So it's Okay. Linear time is not real, which, if you really look at it, you wonder why some days are going fast and why some days are going extremely slow. And sometimes it's like you don't even remember the fucking day. Is distance real? Because, we do actually, when we connect fully, we actually have the ability, and other technologies are there for people to be able to teleport. So when you teleport, well, is there really a distance, or are you just like one place and then in another? Would it be time if time does not exist? Because I've heard others actually say that it's just the thought. Whoa, shit. Yeah. And then they say the speed of light. So we get bullied into thinking that all the narratives that are being pushed on us is the truth or the truth. But it's like when you look at, like they say about the ancient times and what have you, about things, it being a myth. Why is it a myth? Because it doesn't fit in with your narrative? Because myth is actually my truth. They like to play on words. There's a playback. Because it is. It's that part of my truth. So if it's my truth and it be your truth, because your truth would be a myth. Because we've all been here and we're still going over the same things over and over again. And that's the part of waking up to see things for what it really is, seeing the systems for what they really are. There are good parts in it. I was like, you listen, and hospitals are looking, they're selling raffle tickets, right? Or they're asking for donations, okay? The part of trying to comprehend it is that they say that all that medical care is paid for, but yet, if it's paid for, then why are they asking for donations? Why are they selling these raffle tickets to make money if the money that is supposed to be paying for our coverage is there? So that's the blue system, and it's going in behind you to make you think that you're actually getting a free service, but it's actually other people paying for it, not only through their taxes, but also through their bring home monies. And then some people go to church, and then some churches say, give us 10%. God wants you to give 10% of your income. God don't want you to give your income, because God don't run on money, because it's all in energy, and you're working for a system, whereas the system is supposed to be here to work for you. So that's what the masculine ego bully part. Okay. And I'm going to show this video now. Okay. And when I come across it, it's like, holy shit. Because if somebody goes on appearance, then it would be like, to some, it would be like a mind fuck. You'd be like, what? Like, seriously? But that would be a quick judgment. So for the husbands, fathers, brothers, uncles, grandfathers, whomever you may be, if you are standing up and for the feminine, the masculines are standing for the feminine. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I do mean it. It's you who thinks that I don't mean it. Because I have a masculine ego bully in my life, and you know, sometimes, like I said many other times, and I even said it to his face, I'd drive you through the wall. I just have visions that I just chuck them through the wall, but I don't do that. But it's possible that it happened as different versions of ourselves in a different timeline, parallel world, what have you. And people can say I'm delusional. Well, you're living in an illusion. So, and I'm the delusional one. You're living in the illusion that you have to continue to suffer. You have to continue to be living on the streets. You have to continue to be poor. If you choose that life, then that's what you choose. And then that's the part where I'm going to ask why. Because there's for every action there's a reaction. So something happened. And some people just don't want to talk about it. It's that untold story part. And it's usually the bully aspect of it because others don't want others knowing. But sometimes it's not always about others knowing that. It's about you knowing it and really looking at it. Because things may seem like they're not chewing away at us, but they are. And that's why we have these mindsets, these beliefs, limited beliefs in some terms, because we're taught that no, it's this way. It can never be any other way. It's this way because we say so. It's that part of do as I say, not as I do. And to me, it's this part of seriously, this is spirit to spirit. And I'm not being disrespectful to anyone. It's that part of the system. So here's the video. Men have always been the weaker sex. We've just spent centuries making ourselves feel better by convincing ourselves it was the women coke. And we used religion, laws, and abuse to force them into that role of nothing more than property for men. We use them as currency to buy titles, lands, and riches. We worked hard to convince them that their only worth came from what they were worth to some man. We treated our wives like brood mares and sold our daughters off to the highest bidder. And all of it. Just to make ourselves feel more superior, or rather, to make sure that they felt more inferior. But men have always been the weaker sex. Men have never had to act helpless to make a woman feel useful. Men have never had to dump themselves down to protect a woman's ego. Men have never had to take lesser pay to shield some woman's fragile sense of femininity. Men have always been the weaker sex. Oops. Oh shit. Yeah, my finger hit the button. Oh shit. Ese con la vería. And women are finally stepping up to prove it. Women have finally reached the point
marries them, foolishly thinking that a woman needs them for anything, not realizing that more women likely would have chosen a single life much earlier, had men not made it impossible for them to do so, forbidding them from owning anything, giving them bank accounts, credit cards, and employment outside of being a housewife. Men scoff and ask women what they would do without a man there to protect them, forgetting that what they would be protecting them from is other men. Women are tired of having to capitulate to the insecurities of men, and some men are having a hard time coping with that. I know this is going to be hard for some of you boys to understand, but women don't need you for any of the things you've convinced yourself they need you for. They don't need you for money. They don't need you for protection. And they don't need you to open jars for them. They need you to get out of their way and stop holding them back, because your masculinity is too fragile to let them flourish. Because your entire self-worth is tied to them needing you. And you know all this. If you had taken the time to stop listening to your bros and just listen to women, another man can't tell you what a woman wants. No matter how much of an alpha he claims to be, the only person that can tell you what a woman wants is that woman. And all you have to do is listen. It really is that easy. The hardest part of it will be getting over yourself, not succumbing to your fragile masculinity, and finally freeing yourself from the propaganda that has been fed to you. And you have fed yourself your entire life. If you can't do that, you will lose. You have nothing, and I mean nothing, to offer women that can't be replaced by technology and innovation. It has always been the way for sex.
There's a video that I was trying to show the other day, but for some reason, the Matrix kind of stopped it. Now, I'm not saying that it's all like the female body, because it's a lot of the feminine, but like you said, and like others have been saying, it's programming, and they say they don't know what they do, but some of them actually do know what they're doing, but it's like, yeah, and then the song, come on, yes, maybe some of them want to be abused. Well, if you want to be abused and another person wants to be abused, well, then go do it to each other and stop doing it to people that don't want the same thing. But I honestly, I don't understand the abuse concept of it. If you thrive off it, well, leave everybody else out of it. I just heard somebody say abuse yourself. No, it's not about even abusing yourself. Well, that's up to you. So it all ended up becoming one wanting to be inferior, like be superior over the other. And I can probably say that both sides had done it at least once or twice to each other. So it's not like the feminine is always the innocent party, because they have their things too. So it's not a matter of taking sides. It's like coming back to the balance and understanding each other on a deeper level, opposed to on an ego level, more on the spiritual level, not a forced level. It's like when you're in a relationship is supposed to be shared responsibility. And sometimes it's just about like you're giving one help with energy or what have you. It's a shared thing because it's an energy exchange. But when one gets greedy, then they just want to suck the life out of the other one and then wonder like why they are the way they are. So when you stand up to a bully, yes, I'm very calm today because, like, you know, some people may feel like I'm coming in here and I'm being a bully, but that's not what it is. It's bringing my own experiences forward, helping others understand that, I understand because I may not have done the exact same things as others or experienced the same things as others, but I can at least share my experiences with other people and they may be able to see the similarities and then be able to empower themselves, stand up for themselves, and not in a bullying manner, not in a controlling manner, not in that superior manner. It's like you need to lead yourself. You need to be responsible for we need to be responsible for our own actions. I'm gonna say we because I still do it sometimes. When I get upset, I know that's my fault because I allowed myself to get upset. But sometimes we just need to allow that energy to let go because it's that shadow coming up that it's like that shadow wants to be heard. It's like it's telling it wants to tell its story. And sometimes, well, it comes out to everyone, each other, because we're channeling those spirits because it becomes a spirit to spirit. So you can have spirits that in the past had bullied each other, which created another bully. So the generational going forth because it can start at a it can start at a very young age. Some even come in with their memories already and able to have the sight to see that spirit within that other person. And that's where it creates the masculine bully because it's that going up. The ego is always in the ego becomes in a fight. It becomes like whether it be male or masculine or feminine energy ego. If it's not balanced, it becomes more heightened. It becomes more intense because the two egos are kind of they're fighting against one another. That's what's kind of going on right now. Like they're fighting against one another because the feminine aspect of it is trying to talk with the masculine ego bully that just wants to plug its ears and go la, 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 just like a little kid. So it's like a little kid having a temper tantrum, and then it's like the parent gets infuriated. So it's like, hey, like stop being a little child, take your fingers out of your ears, and actually let's talk about it like grown-ups. But some don't because they allow that other part of the ego to get in the way, so they can't come to a conclusion. They can't come to common ground to sort it out. Like here one day, like it was when our dog, when we had to have our dog put down, and he's, like I said, he's never physically touched me, but I'm giving it, like I'm standing up now. I just have to live with him right now. Sort their shit out, you know. Damn. But I took the dog up because the dog was dying, and I was connected with I was connected with him, with my fur baby. I was connected. He was telling me that, Mommy, you gotta let me go. I couldn't say that it was time to have him put to sleep. It needed to be masculine energy, because that masculine energy had control over that dog. And as many times as the dog's body language was trying to tell him, he was ignoring it for his own selfish reasons, because he had a hard time of letting go. But he was siphoning the energy. And was he aware of it? Well, he knows the answer to that. So when I took him upstairs and I set him on the couch next to him and told him that he wants to come with you, I went back downstairs and I heard banging, smashing, and cursing and swearing. And I went up and he was calling me a cow and cunt, and I started, like, you know, telling him, like, kind of telling him off, like, I like, because he was hollering at me, and he went to charge at me. And when he went to charge at me, I just spread my arms and I just said, "Come on." And like, so after that, like, we just, it was like I pushed him back with the force, but I didn't touch him. And then another day we got into it. Okay, I'm not saying that like I don't contribute. We got into it, and once again, like he was calling me names, and I was going back at him, telling him off, and he totally looked at me and said, "If you were a man," and that's when I looked at him and I said, "Yeah, well, if I were a man, I'd take you and I'd fucking drive you through the wall for the way you treat people." It's like, threaten me, and then another day, this isn't to throw shame on him. It's like, dude, you really got to realize, but are you going to still be ignorant and not listen? And this is a spirit to spirit, and that spirit knows who I'm talking about, and two. So another day we were going somewhere and he went back inside. Something to do with his toothbrush. He was going to brush his teeth. So I went in the house to use the bathroom. And I got down by the bathroom. And he was in the bathroom. And he was shooting my name down to the lowest, shooting me down to the lowest. He had the door closed. And he said, "I'll bury you." So I went out in the entryway. I grabbed a shovel I come back in and I stood by the bathroom, stood outside the bathroom door, with a shovel like this, standing here. And when they come out, they walked past me and they went to kind of the entry area. Then they turned around and they looked at me and it was like, what? So I took the shovel and I just chucked it at his feet and said, here, you want to bury me? Fucking bury me. Wouldn't be like, I'm not talking about him, this person, but it wouldn't be the first time that spirit ever buried me. So that's parts where, yes, I do get expressive. I said, my channel's not for everyone. Sometimes I don't even think it's for me when I go back and watch it, but I still watch it. Like, what? Like, holy shit, man. But when things happen, I know how I look because I know how I'm feeling because it's that connection with all of me, with the entirety of just energy itself, because we're energy. And that's why you feel that in the pit of your stomach. It's that energy that you got balled down there and you actually want to birth it out. But then there's that fear of, oh, the repercussions of what if you birth it out? What if you barf it out and it works out just fine for you? Because maybe you're empowering yourself by doing it. You're allowing yourself to feel it. You're allowing yourself to let it go because it's a balled up energy. And a lot of the time, it's fear, anger, and aggression. And then it gets balled up more and more within us. And then it's like you just really fucking explode. And then because you've exploded, then there's repercussions from exploding. So it's being able to allow yourself and work through what it is that you're dealing with so that it doesn't become an aggressive bully manner because you start to take your own pain out on someone else because somebody else got to feel your pain because you can't allow yourself to feel that pain in your own physical body, so you reflect it onto somebody else. Been there, done that. I came here to experience things of what others experienced throughout different aspects of what we call or perceive to be time. Right now, like, I don't know if my cheeks are red, but I know I feel very flushed. And it's like, see, a masculine ego bully energy will actually sit, and a lot of the time they're consuming addictions. They're experiencing addictions because they're becoming that bully masculine ego because it's their way of trying to protect themselves from what they don't want to deal with. And others, well, we never want to hear that. But we actually need to hear that. It's not about telling somebody what you think they want to hear. Is being honest about certain things. Like there's like It's the part about being honest with yourself, first and foremost. Because if you're not honest with yourself, then you're not being honest with others and learning philosophy, killing and letting die and what have you. And it's that part of like, is it always our duty to help someone? Or does it become time when you have to say enough is enough, like you're not helping yourself. So as long as you're not helping yourself, then I'm just going to kind of step back and only give my energy when I want to. But it's not about giving the energy and pulling it back. It's about just kind of giving just a boost of hope, a shock to the system. We're talking about brain dead in philosophy class. And the thing is we say brain dead. It's brain dead because our brain has stalled out. It got over circuited. So it's like it needs time to rewire itself, and with frequencies and different vibrations to stimulate things again. You can actually get the brain functioning. Because the person's heart is still going. They reset. Do they not use, if somebody's heart stops, do they not use the paddles? So what's the difference of using the paddles? Because that's a shock for the system. So it reboots it, does it not? Right? You know, if it's doing to the heart, then why, like, it does it to the brain, so it reboots the system, your wiring harness. Shock brings life. It's energy. To say the spark of life. Electrical voltage. And our body is an electrical tower, because we're the towers. Like, I've been watching stuff in the car. If you look at antennas, okay, a lot of the time, what do they look like? Okay, you look at the light poles. What do they look like? They look like a cross. And what's connected to them? The wiring. So the cross is the energy. Like, well, sometimes we need a language interpreter. I already told them at the university, they need one language interpreter for me because, you know, I know I'm bringing out useful information, whether I'm speaking it in English or whether I'm speaking it in a different form of language. They have the proper technology to be able to figure that out. And they've had it for like long before now. They had it in ancient times and ancient times before that and before that and before that. Just different forms. This year, like I got a new cell phone. Okay, and it's always going in and out on me, saying that I'm not registered to the network, or mobile network down, or what have you, or I'm in the middle of a call and all of a sudden I'll go down. And I know we're affecting electronics because our energy is building. But it's that part where my old, sorry, my old phone that I paid $200 for never goes out. It never draw. It doesn't really. It doesn't drop calls. No matter where I am, for the most part, I know somebody else who had a new phone like what I have or close to it, and their phone will shut down and drop a call right in the middle of like a high traffic community, very close to the city, and it'll drop the call and through different roads. But mine wouldn't drop the call. So it becomes that money race, the bully aspect of the system of the money. Because on these new phones, is it that the technology is any better with regards to reception and what have you? Or is it just a gimmick thing because of all the, bells and whistles and dance? Let's distract them with bells and whistles. Meanwhile, don't say anything. But our stuff is still actually a piece of shit. And I'm not throwing shade because I know there's people that can like totally relate. So my $200 phone works better than what would be damn near a $2,000 phone. I didn't get it for $2,000. Somebody got it for me for when I started. But now I got to take it somewhere and see if it's a piece of shit phone or if something's going on, what's going on with it. So I don't really like the systems, especially the way they're run. Because it's the biggest bully, and people working for it are waking up. Confirmation. They're waking up and they're beginning to see. I had somebody ask me if I was a Christian. I had somebody evangelical, what have you. Like, I don't even, it's not, to me, it's not about the religion, that everything has a truth to it. Because it's telling their version of the story. But it all got intertwined together and misconstrued, and then it became more of a weapon. So when we look and we see the bullies and the abusers at the top, it's that part of like the bitterness. And I've been bitter, but not like to cause, like really cause harm or like what have you. But like with certain issues right now that I'm working through, certain shadows that I'm working through, certain child wounds and what have you, and not just like, well, I'm pretty much over the child part of it, but it's the more the grown-up aspect of it. And I know that sometimes it's like I want to holler at myself, because when I first started going through this part of the awakening, I'd be like driving, or I'd be like in the house, and all of a sudden I would just start kind of shaking myself and hollering, "Wake up! Wake the fuck up!" So it's like, wake up. So I'm still like, sometimes it's like, no. So you got to keep trying to, if that's what the part of the journaling is. Yeah, I'm going to share this because it was like, because yesterday I started university and I stopped at a garage to use the washroom before I got there. And I went in the washroom and I put my key fob in my pocket, in my sweater pocket. And when I got up from using the bathroom, my key fob fell in the toilet. So I had to fish it out. Oh, God. And then I was driving home and I got the drive was about an hour, between an hour and an hour, 10 minutes, what have you. And I got like 1 or 2 kilometers, 2 kilometers the max from my house, and realized that I was driving with no lights on. So it was like, okay, but it was like I was still able to see something. It was still had some light to it. And I realized that I had no lights on when I went to put my high beams on. What? My lights aren't changing. So those are things that, like, I don't turn my car lights off because they're automatic. So I don't really know how my lights got turned off. But I believe, like we do have spirits that go around and it's like they're checking our awareness and they're sometimes playing around. It's like turds. So the part of waking up, and I'm glad that I didn't get really aggressive sort of today, because it's that topic where, like, sometimes it's that part of speaking their language, and with regards to the bully aspect of it, it's realizing that they too were bullied, most likely. So trying to relate, because it's up to you, because everyone has free will. But there's also the law when you start infringing on somebody else's free will. It's not all these man-made laws as they go because it fits their agenda. It's the actual universal laws. Yes, it is up to that person if they want to use hard drugs, but it should not be used on buses. It should not be used in parks. It shouldn't, and it's not about them hiding. It's about what gets left behind. It's the impact that it has on others. And like our so-called systems are supposed to be working to, how do I explain it? It's not something that should be causing bodily harm to people. And it's causing bodily harm to many. It causes bodily harm not only to the person, but sometimes to their family members also. Because a lot of the time, people with addictions, they can become very physical because they're trying to get that fix. And then they're putting people in jail for stuff because of these. these substance, but they're not doing anything to really help them. Some have said that the jails have even sometimes supplied it. I don't know where that is. Maybe it's in the States. No matter where it is. It's like, seriously? You're supposed to be like working in a way that helps stop this. But when you don't help people or work with people to work through the reasons why they're doing what they're doing, then you're the problem because you're not doing nothing to help these people. You're just there for this. Because putting someone in prison, well, it becomes profitable, does it not? Because a lot of them are actually private. Is that not true? So it's profitable. Skulle jag kunna? And med tudo på detta, jag skulle jag säga. And then you hear so many horror, like you hear different horror stories of what happens. I heard what it sounds like in there, and it sounds like you're in a zoo or something. And I'm not saying they're animals but they're being treated like animals. And animals shouldn't even be treated like that. The sound was just like a bunch of fucking chimpanzees or like things like that, just going off and just constant. And I can just imagine how that would feel for people that were in there. And they're in there not only like maybe they did a small crime, but they're in there and they're protecting themselves. Because it produces a bully system within a system. So I'm really glad that I'm taking philosophy, killing and letting die. Because there's going to be a lot that I want to bring forth. Challenges. And it's like it's really looking at things from a different perspective. Like when we were doing that star thing, we used a picture, okay, and they had a car, okay, and they said put your thumb up to it and look at the car through one eye and then look through the other. Like you put it on and it's right on it, and then you close the other eye or open the other eye, vice versa, and it's like it goes like this. So it's like it's an illusion. There was no real distance between the two because your finger didn't fucking move. You just looked through a different lens. You just saw a different perception of it. So it's like being able to step back and, like I said, I said before, we put ourselves in other people's shoes. Well, literally, like there's I think it's called Cobbler to make shoes. I think it's Cobbler. It's a movie, The Cobbler. Adam Sandler plays in it, and he puts on these people's shoes, and it's like he takes on it's like he takes on that person's persona, or they look like that person. I can't believe that. I believe that's what it was trying to point out. It's that part of walking a mile in someone else's shoes and seeing what their life is. What do you say? Yeah, I'm kind of in a dice Korea's going. It's that sitting with it for a minute. It's like, wish I ese bueno. La pututuria, tutusuya, communicator. Communicating, yeah. It's a Korea. It's a Korea. It's a Korean. So, so am I bullying this person back? Well, no, it's not so much. No, I'm not bullying them back. I'm just tired of the way people talk to each other because there's no respect. Like in his video, like knowing what a woman wants, or what a feminine wants, or what a masculine wants, and it's a fight over respect. One wants respect but doesn't want to give it. Well, hey, feminine energy, they want respect too. It's not like it's a mutual respect. In all honesty, women don't really want a whole lot. And it's not that they want a bad boy either. They want a gentleman, but they also want one that will, stand up for them. Even though, like, you can stand up for themselves. It's gonna do it. But it's more of mutual respect. Some want someone to look like a bad boy or like, or, come off as a bad boy sometimes. But I'll tell you right now, not many of them want to see men beat the shit out of other men unless they're in their own masculinity. And I'm not throwing shade. I'm saying that's basically where it's at. It becomes it's like a mob mentality, the frenzy. So it's like, okay, I'm not. It's like not a goody goody. I drank. Do I drink anymore? No, because it made me feel like shit, and it made me do things that I was not proud of. That made me feel less than what I really was. So I started standing up to the bully. Not just one, but many. And a lot of them were so programmed into the system. And they were the system. So I'm going to leave it there because I have some stuff I have to get done before tomorrow. Oh, yes. And love in our hearts and truth in our voice. So, with that being said, um, for those of you who came in and if you liked or like being comfort on that, I just want to thank you for being here and even like taking the time to even, you know, see what I had to say, even if you didn't stay or if you just came in and went. Just Farming looks mighty easier than your farming expensive. 1,000 miles. You put in me to go right. See this one, the way it came out. I know it was more of like a part of the insult. Disagree with that. Spirit, spirit. Disagree. Preference is not a long race for servants. It's not a long race. It is many short races, one right after another. So we're working to get things sorted out. We're learning our own lessons, and it's not like I always thought it was being punished, and it's not about. I realize it's not about me being punished in that sense. As it is, oh shit, as it is about learning to be able to take responsibility for my own actions, learning to be able to take responsibility for my own behavior, well, behavior just saying, but my own words and what have you, and seeing my own shadows, my own stuff that I need to work on, the stuff that I need to see within myself. And I do videos and I go back and watch them because it's stuff that's brought forth that I need to hear too, because we don't always listen to what we say to others. So sometimes we just need to go back and see what we say to others or what we would say to others who were in the same situation as us. So it's bringing yourself back to the center, back to the balance of masculine and feminine. And that's when things start changing. I did a video and like it's when they're using substances and they're so disorganized. I know because I was there. Like you just can't. Like it's a part of your you yourself is so much in chaos that your surroundings become in chaos because you're not dealing what you need to deal with in order to move forward. You're staying in the chaos, which keeps you stuck. Some may choose to be that way. Some like it that way. But is it so much that they like it that way, or is it because they're so used to it being that way that is harder to try to change or try to do something different? With that being said, I'm sending you all much love, light, many blessings, most importantly, very good health to anyone and everyone wanting, willing to receive and accept. I want you all to be big, bold, brave. Most importantly, be yourself. Be your authentic self. Be true to yourself. Be true to others. When you're being yourself, be who you are, not who somebody says you are or you have to be. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. And know that you have more strength and you are more powerful than what you realize sometimes. It's disagree. I'm sending you all love. Disagree.